Hey Sydney, hopefully you can hear me. I'm in the bathroom, as you can tell right now, and the fan's going, so it might be kind of hard. I'm making this video right now because I've already made this video, and it didn't record any of the audio, even though I had my handy-dandy little microphone that doesn't do anything. So I'm having to make this all again, and if you're reading or seeing this exact part right now, then I didn't get to edit it because I had to redo this whole thing. So bear with me, I'm trying. I really need to get a new stinking microphone. But what I'm going to tell you today is all of the details of the cat event on Saturday night. I don't know if you ever really heard all of the details or heard Mike's perspective of all the details. So I'm just going to share them with you right now because it's kind of the most interesting thing that's happened to me in a while. So on Saturday, I got home from dance at about 4:30. Kat was on my bed and she came up and said hey, and I patted her head, and then she went over to her usual spot and curled up, and I noticed that her entire tail and back legs and everything was covered in this nasty yellow fluid stuff, and I just, of course, totally freaked out, like started screaming for Mom, and Mom came up, and I assumed that she had thrown up on herself. So we tried to clean it up, and we had to cut out all of this fur, and it was gross. And finally, my charming mother realized that she had a hole in her leg-ish area, and this hole was what was producing all of this nasty yellow liquid. We assumed that it was actually an abscess that had burst, and Mom and Dad were going to a concert, so I was left to take care of this cat all by myself with an exploded abscess, and I was very unequipped for doing this, and I kept having to shoo her off of areas because she was getting all of this liquid everywhere, and she was in so much pain, and I felt really bad, but I didn't know what to do. And then she kept like licking at it and stuff, and she made herself sick doing so then she threw up everywhere. So I was there on my hands and knees at 11 o'clock at night cleaning up cat vomit. Such a good time. Mom eventually texted me and said, hey, the concert's over, oh my gosh, it was so great, whatever. And so I just told her that she was gonna have to come home and take me and the cat to the animal emergency vet because this was just not working out. And she came home, and I explained the situation to her, and the liquid had turned brown at this point. So we got in the car at midnight and went over to the animal emergency vet that you talked about when I called you, that's over by the Kmart. And we went and we walked up, and it was closed. I sat there with a cat with this stale face going on, wondering how on earth I was going to survive the night with this crazy cat. But Mom apparently looked up animal emergency vet hospitals, whatever, on her way home, and knew that there was one that was somewhat close by, and we realized it was actually pretty much just across the street. So we went in, and when we got to the door, it's locked, and they had this sign that said that there's a camera, and the vet technician, when they see you, will come and unlock the door for you. And there's this other sign that we read while we were waiting that said you had to have your pet in a carrier or on a leash in order to get in the door. So I just sat there reading the sign, just fuming, because I knew that you're going to have to go all the way back home, get the carrier, and come all the way back. And I had this crazy cat in my arms that really didn't like being held because she was not a happy camper. The vet technician came. My mom just made a plea and said that I was the carrier, which I was totally fine with losing my human identity for the moment because I did not want to go all the way back to the house. And the guy was sympathetic and let us in, and when we showed him the abscess area, he was like, and took her back, and we sat there and waited for a little bit, and we set up, our mom filled out the paperwork for Princess, came back with her, and the vet told us that her anal sac had actually ruptured, and then it had formed 2 abscesses, and there are actually 2 abscesses that exploded. And so yeah, so she had to give her all this pain medication and antibiotics and stuff, and she told us that we needed to give her a laxative in preferably some wet food for her to have a more pleasant digestive experience over the next few days. I didn't get home from the vets till about 1:30, and the cat is doing much better now, but it was definitely a frustrating process, especially since this wet cat food, which she's obviously not used to, made her throw up. So I have spent a lot of time cleaning up cat vomit, which I've already done because, as I told you a few weeks before, she just made a habit of that, and I don't know if that was related to this, but I just cleaned up so much cat vomit. I had to get this special blue crystal litter stuff so that it wouldn't get all caught up in there, which is just nasty. It looks totally psychedelic, out of this world. Yesterday I went and saw the Eastside High School play, which was really cute. I really liked it, and I laughed like 3 times harder than everybody else because I just did. But there were some things I didn't really get, but for the most part it was really good. It was really cute and it was entertaining, and Jamie Jones was in it, so I went and saw her and supported her. And we have school picture day tomorrow, which is super duper because I'm completely unprepared, and every year I always say, no, this time I'll be prepared, so I won't have a crazy picture. But no, I always have crazy pictures, and I can just feel the zits forming in my skin just going, screw you, you didn't take any time to take care of yourself, so now you're going to look crazy. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so my hair is going to freak out and just go boing. I've got all of that to deal with, all that stress, and I know that with the combination of picture day today and homecoming on Friday, that my hair and face are just gonna freak out, because of course that's what they always do. I also am doing my anatomy quiz on bones tomorrow, and I've been running around the house yelling things like xiphoid process and coxa, so Mom has reminded me that you apparently went through this very same thing a few years ago, which I hadn't really remembered, but maybe you can recall that. So yeah, I'm right there with you, or where you were 2 years ago. I hope you had a lovely Monday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye!